If you want to see a Black woman stutter with confusion, myself included, if you want to see Naka get all, antsy and sweaty and get all discombobulated, ask this Black woman if she is a feminist. If you ask this question, simple question, Black woman, are you a feminist? You will likely get this woman doing one of two things. One is that she will say, yes, I am a feminist. Then you'll have to probe and ask, why do you say that? And give me some examples. Or she will get all sweaty and start, stumbling over her words. And the reason why this is because most Black women are in direct conflict with feminism. It's just that many Black women don't know this, don't think about this. We accept as status quo what we think is feminism, what the media has told us, what white women have told us, what we read in books, all the theory, again, all the books we've read, all of that. We accept this and we say, we're feminist. Now, what happens is that as we live our lives, there's so many different things that occur that proves that we're not actually feminist. But most of us are not willing to admit these things because it may make us seem like we're going backward in time. All the rights that we have, we don't always even want to have all those rights. We don't always execute on those rights. So I said something in my last video about we kind of need to pick a side. And then I thought about a video I made over a year ago, and it was actually called Black Women Cannot Afford to Choose a Side. And it was about feminism. And I think that is actually more accurate. I think, in a perfect world, as women, as Black women, we would be able to choose. We would be able to say, okay, either I'm a feminist or I'm not, or I'm behaving like a feminist or I'm not. But the reality is that most Black women will straddle the fence, myself included, as it relates to feminism. Here's some examples. Again, a lot of women admit, especially as we approach our 40s, we admit that we are tired of working. Right now, again, not necessarily as it relates to creative endeavors like my YouTube channel or my books and things like that, but more as it relates to things that I'm doing for other people, right? So me going into the office or me having to, run a corporation or, something like that. A lot of Black women admit that they're exhausted. Now, Black women have the right to work, but many of them want, I'm not going to say they want that right to be taken away, but they want grace to be given as it relates to that. And they want people to understand why they're tired of working. And so they will continue to say that they're a feminist externally, but internally, they don't necessarily want to exercise that level of rights that they have. A lot of women don't want to have to make decisions all the time. A lot of women, and again, you guys are going to say, oh no, not a lot of Black women, but there are women who want to be relieved of the decision making that they have to constantly do. So you're working full time, you're working all these hours, and you're having to make all these decisions, not only at your job, but in your personal life. A lot of women don't want to do this, but they will continue to put up the front that everything is fine, that they love making decisions, that they don't want to be led. They don't want anybody to help them. They're independent. They can do it all alone. And the reality is that, that they're doing those things, they're making these decisions, but that doesn't mean they want to. If, again, given the opportunity, they would relinquish that. And this is why you see so many Black women now, as I talked about before, leaving the country, going to other countries, and not working, and just wanting to live a life of solitude, because they've worked themselves into the ground saying that they were feminist, and the reality is that they couldn't handle it. So again, my opinion here is that many Black women are not real feminists. Many women are not real feminists, right? We're all calling ourselves this, but in reality, it's like, yeah, we're a feminist externally. As I face the world, I'm a feminist, but deep inside, the things that I desire, right? The things that many Black women desire deep inside, oftentimes that life, whatever they're imagining, is not a feminist life. It's a life of a soft life, so to speak, one where they are, not having to make all the tough decisions, or not having to pay for everything, being able to have some relief in different areas, not only the financial area, but the emotional area, not having to go to work all the time, not having to boss it up all the time. Women will convince themselves and others that they are boss women. Many of them don't even really want to be that. I mean, they'll pretend like, oh, I'm a boss woman, but at the end of the day, these are some of the same women who are crying themselves to sleep. So you really don't know, just because someone's calling themselves a feminist, you don't know what they really desire, if that is really what they want. And if that's not internally, emotionally what they really want, but they're just saying that that's what they are, then I call it into question. I call their feminism into question. Happy holidays, everyone. I hope you are spending it with your family. I just wanted to pop on and talk to you all about the Black and Invisible YouTube membership group or club. This is a membership club that I started right here on YouTube. If you are interested, I'll kind of talk to you a little bit more about what it entails. So one of the things is that by the way, this is a commercial, real quick commercial. You guys have probably noticed my channel has grown quite a bit in a short amount of time. And I want to create a community right here on YouTube where we can engage over many different topics. I have a lot of topics and video ideas that will never see the light of day on the main channel, partly due to time, but also due to the editing. So Black and Invisible, again, is the name of the group. You do not have to be Black, but you do have to care about Black people and issues in the Black community that are not widely discussed. That is where the name Black and Invisible comes from. And, you will have access to exclusive content behind the scenes. Again, like I said, very important topics and videos, just things that may never see the light of day on the main channel. Yeah, this membership club, just so you all know, is for men and women. So it's not just for men or just for women. It's for both genders. And particularly if you want to get started on YouTube. So if you're looking at starting a channel and or growing a channel, I will be talking and going in great depth, if you are interested, going in great depth about YouTube as a business, and also some other business related things if you care to know. But again, I started this group, membership group. To be honest with you, I was hesitant, and I know I did a poll and it didn't seem like the most popular thing that people necessarily wanted. However, the thing that everyone wanted was for me to do the weekly interviews with a different guest, and that is going to take more time. So now I'm thinking, okay, well, what can I do in the meantime? And again, to build community so that I can feel more connected to you all, because the reality is some of my videos have done really well, which is great. But what happens, of course, is that when there's a lot of comments, it's impossible for me to read them all. It's impossible for me to respond. And so, what happens is as you grow, which is a beautiful thing, you also lose a sense of community to an extent. Now, of course, you guys are in touch with me in the community tab, and I'm in touch with you as well. The YouTube membership will allow a different way for us to engage with each other. And it is $9.99 a month. And again, this is, a automatic payment that you would make monthly. And you can expect to have, like I said, access to exclusive videos only available to members, as well as occasional live stream. So once I get the group to a reasonable size, I don't go live very often, but I will be going live for members only. Not to say I won't go live generally, but the lives for the members will be different topics, and we'll just, kind of like a think tank, maybe even. I don't know if you guys are interested in that, or even like, oh, you guys could be like the board of my channel. Again, I'm just thinking of different things, but ultimately, I do want to get to know, who are my folks that really do support me. I mean, I see names often. I see reoccurring names and thumbnails when you guys comment, and I do appreciate that. However, that's a lot different than when you're a member. When you comment, your name will have like a symbol next to it. So that way I can know, oh, this is somebody who's a member, and you actually get priority with me reading your comment and responding. I know things often get lost in comments. You guys, if you want to reach out to me, please look in the description box. And one way to get in contact is to go to my website and fill out the contact form. But if you join the membership, you don't need to do that, because I will have a lot more closer access to you. So if you're interested in the Black and Invisible membership group, please do click, two ways you can do this. Click the link in the description that says Black and Invisible membership. And then another way is that if you have an Android, you actually see the join button in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. And maybe on desktop, but on iPhone, you got to do some other stuff. So just look in the description box. That's probably the easiest way. But again, I hope you all are enjoying your holiday with your family, and I will see you soon, or actually get back to the program. My theory here is that most Black women, many Black women, are not feminist. They're not real feminists. Do not want to necessarily be real feminist, but they just are sort of operating from that place because that's what they were told that they were supposed to do. That's how they've been socialized. However, they will never admit the truth. Sometimes I would say that they may not even know themselves, And again, how you disprove this is not only asking a Black woman, hey, are you a feminist? And just to see how she justifies it. But also, again, showing her examples in her own life. Okay, well, you said you are a feminist, but how come you 3 weeks ago talked about you would love to be a stay-at-home mom and housewife and not have to work? Why do you keep talking about soft life and saying you want a soft life and you want a man to pay, all your bills and stuff like that? If you're a feminist, why, when said misogynistic rap song comes on, I don't even know what those are now. I'm just aging myself, say, 2 Live Crew or, some of the throwbacks, right? Yin Yang Twins, all of that, right? Why, when these songs come on, you're the first one on the dance floor? Why? But you're a feminist. You said that you are a feminist. Why are you dancing to 2 Live Crew and Yin Yang Twins? And again, I don't have a problem with you doing that. I'm just curious why you're saying you're a feminist and you're doing that, right? Because those lyrics don't align with your values. If you're a feminist, why is it that when men compliment you, or they actually are pretty, say some very explicit things to you, why do you smile? Why do you laugh it off? Why do you even dang near embrace it? Because you say you're a feminist, so you should be upset that the man is saying X, Y, and Z and kind of being a little disrespectful, but you're you're smiling, right? And he might even go as far as grabbing you, right? He doesn't even know you. You're in a club or whatever. We're at a party. He grabs you, and you should be irate, right? Because you're a feminist, but you're laughing. So again, this is why, in my theory, I do not believe that a lot of Black women are really feminist. I think there is a lot of performative feminism. Performative feminism, okay? And I don't think that Black women can really choose a side. I think it's tough. I think at best we should admit that, I'm not going to go as far as saying we should say that we're anti-feminist, because I mean, we have jobs, we have bank accounts, right? We can vote. So we have rights. So I'm not going to say that we're anti, but to go as far as saying that I am a feminist, that might be taking it a little too far. Okay. Let's just be realistic here. So I think at best we can be feminist critics. We can be faux feminist, fake feminist. I guess to some degree we have to kind of be honest about the fact that we're probably all straddling the fence. And again, even though I said that we really, in a perfect world, we really should choose a side, because that would sort of indicate that we are like Bell Hooks, right? Like Bell Hooks was true to my knowledge, true to her craft of being a feminist. That's why she's so respected. This is why she's the godmother, as I have called her, of Black feminism. She didn't seem to waver too much. Now, granted, she was critical, which is why I love some of her books. I mean, she was very critical of feminism, but you wouldn't necessarily catch Bell Hooks. I mean, even in Bell Hooks' appearance, she was very much about not catering to the male gaze. She didn't wear makeup and that type of thing. So again, unless you're going to be like a Bell Hooks or somebody who's like, nope, this is my stance, I'm a feminist and this is who I am. But if you're going to do all of this and I'm guilty of this too, which is why if someone will come up and ask me, Naka, are you a feminist? I'm going to start stuttering. And now it's to the point where I'm not even going to stutter. I'm just going to be like, probably not. Or, I'm going to have an answer for you which is the honest answer of that, reveals that I'm somewhere in between. And so the reality that actually is happening is that Black women are in between. But what they'll tell you, what they'll verbalize, is that they're a hard feminist. And this is what I am trying to sort of expose, with the hope that we have more honest conversations about, because we can't, if we're going to keep lying to ourselves and saying that we're something that we're not, then we can't make progress. Right. I think in terms of what's, even going back to why so many of us are single, let's just go back there and look at, okay, well, if you want to lie to yourself and say, oh, I'm a feminist and okay. And so now you have this man who wants to marry you or wants to, be serious with you. Now, what do? Are you going to still stand on whatever your, he can make his own food, or, whatever it is, whatever your hardcore feminist values are, he can do it himself. I don't need to, how are you engaging with the male? How are you engaging with men? And why there's this sort of discourse around being a pick-me, and why that's so triggering for so many women. I don't care if people call me pick-me. That's fine. You can call me whatever you want. But that could be a very triggering term for a lot of women, because no woman wants to be viewed as weak or viewed as she's doing too much for a man, or, for her man, or, no woman wants to be viewed that way. But the reality, the reality is that women who, are married or have been married for many years, or in long-term serious relationships, for that relationship to sustain, in my opinion, there is probably a lot of non-feminist things going on. And I don't know what those are. Every relationship is different. But many of these women who have these long-term marriages and assuming it's a healthy relationship, oftentimes, as they face the world, will say that they're feminists, but in their relationships, there are anti-feminist things going on. And I think, and again, my point here is not to say that one is bad or good. If you're a feminist, that's fine. If you're an anti-feminist, that's fine. If you're in the middle, that's fine. But just be honest, right? And that's what I'm not seeing. I don't see a lot of Black women admitting to being non-feminist, okay? Or just even straddling the fence. And I think, I have read books by feminists, many books that are really good, by the way. And what I have noticed is that instead of these authors saying, like they'll term their book, I'm not going to, call anyone out, but I have a YouTube short about this. They'll have a certain term for their book. I'll just say hip hop feminist or, trap feminism or whatever. And by the way, these are really great books. So they'll have that title for the book, and the book will actually deal with their sort of issues with feminism and how they are really they're wrestling with it. But then at the end, they'll say, they'll kind of still stick to that feminist core identity. When everything half the things I read in the book was like, well, this is questionable under the guise of feminism, right? So again, that's all I'm saying. I just want us to be more honest. I want us to just be more real as we think about who we are. And this goes beyond feminism, not just about, it's not just about this feminist identity, but it's more about if we want to change our situations, if we want to stop being the least, married or the least, one that gets picked with dating or whatever. If we want to start shifting some of these statistics, where do we go to? Where is the starting point? And if you kind of go back, you'll see that, there's some lies that we're telling ourselves, right? So let's unravel these lies. Let's figure out what it is here that we can sort of come to terms with as far as what is the truth. That not what the theory is, not what the book says, not what we learn in women's studies that nobody really follows, or, what should we actually be doing in real life? How can we work with Black men and say, okay, this is what you want, and let's come to some realistic terms here. And what I see is a lot of smoke and mirrors and us not being honest about who we really are, what we really desire, and then how we live that out. So this is just my theory is that Black women, by and large, are fake feminists. It's my opinion. If you have not joined the Black and Invisible YouTube membership group, what are you waiting on? Click the link in the description to join the Black and Invisible YouTube membership group. It's $9.99 a month, and that will allow you access to exclusive content, occasional live streams, a community of amazing people like me, other perks. You don't have to be Black, but you do have to have a passion for Black people and issues that affect the Black community. So click the link in the description box and join the Black and Invisible YouTube membership group by yours truly.